King Harold here with Kings Club Casino, Kings Club Baccarat. Professional play Baccarat, full-time professional, side hustle play. You can Joey Kanish your way to a living just learning how to play right here. I've just finished a live play at the Horseshoe Casino in Shelbyville, Indiana. I'm going to talk to you about that how that went, and we're going to go over exactly how I played tonight so that you will have it available to yourself. I've got my scorecard and I know exactly what happened, so I'm going to show it to you and I'm going to talk to you about some of the aberrations in this game and the popularity that is underway. I'm certain that it's underway nationally in the United States. I don't know that it's exploding around the world because it already is very, very popular out in Asia and Macau and those big casinos that they have in Macau. But I'm not sure how it's going in Europe. But my guess is that this game is growing everywhere because it's definitely growing here in the United States, as evidenced even right out here in the Shelbyville Casino. So we're going to talk about a whole lot of things tonight, and um, and go over what happened here, and also go over some of the aberrations that are in the game. I want to talk about the conversations I had with Soup Campbell because he and I had some disagreements on the 13711 bet. And of course, he made great points because he always does. Soup is deeply experienced in this game, and I take to heart what he says. And so I did make some adjustments tonight at the casino based on his suggestions. So we're going to talk about how I did that, and then I'm going to get some feedback from him probably off this show from what he sees. So, hey, Michael Steinfeld, welcome. Paul C. Good evening. This is Professional Baccarat, Paul. We win all the time. We win when we do simulations. We win when we play in the casinos. We have full professional play here. We play with humility and discipline, and we play a minor piece of selection of what to bet on, but we play mostly about winning with the bet itself. Leverage yourself in a position to win, leverage yourself to get your money back and your profit, and be disciplined enough to leave when you have it. So, Michael Steinfeld, here we are tonight. I'm in the parking lot of Shelbyville Casino, Horseshoe Casino, Shelbyville, Indiana, out here on I-74, headed towards Cincinnati, and I will head back to the beautiful town of Bloomington by going toward Indianapolis and then turning around the 465 Beltway and 69 toward Evansville until I get back to to Bloomington, Indiana. But as I was saying, I laid out this 13711 betting sequence that I'm perfectly comfortable with, particularly if you have a high bankroll or if you're playing the $10 tables like at South Point in Henderson. But if you're playing the $25 and $50, $100 tables in particular, the 13711 is going to run you up into big numbers. And so that was the point the Soup was making. And so what I did tonight was I played three martingales. I played. I was prepared to play as high as I had to play. I brought $5,000 to make 200. The goal was to make 200 tonight and try to do a proof of concept on 200 using a banker chops player 2, 3, 4, 5. I was going to go four bets deep, beginning on after there were two players on the board. And so once there's two players on the board, I will play as many as four bets to get the win. And that is because the banker has a slight, like 1% chance against the player on a straight up jump ball. After the player has one win, now the banker has about a 2% edge. After the player has three wins, the banker has about a 2.8. After he has four, the banker has about 3.9, and it continues to go up. But the reason you do occasionally see the 10, 12, 13, 14 player streak wins is because even when it gets all the way down, it's still more like 58-42, and the 42% can keep hitting. It's not like it's a slam dunk. It's an edge. But we want the edge, and that's what we're playing. We're playing to what we're playing because any edge that we can get, we want to get it. So tonight, I played $50 bets. One unit is $50. And I played a martingale for the first three bets. So I'm betting $50. If I lose, I'm betting 100. If I lose, I'm betting 200. And if I lose there, I'm going to D'Alembert, which is up 5 units of 50. So it would go from 200 to 450. And I had put it on my scorecard because, this is the king. I can forget things pretty easily. And the next bet will be 14 units, which would be $700. And so this is how my scorecard looked. I'm going to martingale. The M is martingale. $50 is the first bet. If I lose, I'm betting 100. That's 2 units of 50. If I lose, I'm betting 200. That's 4 units of 50. And if I lose, I'm betting 450. That's 9 units of 50. If I lose, I'm going to 14, but I'm not going to go there until the next time around after a banker has hit and a player streak of 2 begins again, because that would mean I had lost 4 straight hands. I'm not going to go for the 5th. Okay, so I will play as many as 4. And if I win any win, of course, I'm going to reset because I've made my $50 profit. But if I do lose at 50, 100, 200, 450, 650, 7, I'm down $800. I've got 5,000 with me. And so I'm going to wait for the next banker to win, followed by the next 2 players. Then I'm going to come back in with a banker bet at 700. The D is the D'Alembert down there. So what happened tonight was, well, I lost the first hand, and then I won the next 4. So I was in the casino for 5 hands. That is a minus 1 unit, minus $50, then plus 100, so I'm up 50. Then I won 50, I won 50, I won 50. I'm playing the $25 table, no commission, 3-card, 7 is a push. They didn't have any tonight. But here's what would have happened. I did win the 4 plus 4 units, so that's $200. We won the $200 tonight, so I got $5,200 now. But that's just the discipline of saying that was the goal tonight. You can have a goal of 200, you can have a goal of 2,000. It's just quit when you get to your goal. It's just numbers, that's all it is. But if I had been playing the 1, 3, 7, 11 tonight, well, when I lost the first hand, the next bet would be 3 units and I would have won. But still, after that, it would have been 1, 1, and 1. So it would have been a difference of 1 unit. We'd have won $250 if we were playing the 1, 3, 7, 11. But it would have been much riskier because you're starting at $50. And, well, it goes up pretty quick. It goes up quickly enough martingaling like this, and I'm not afraid to martingale. This is the hybrid bet that we've always used. Marty for 3, D'Alembert after that. That's what it is. But that gives you the idea of what happened tonight. We did get the 200. We got $5,200. Now, this was something that happened tonight that everybody needs to be aware of. You see, I got player banker there. The player banker played, and the player got queen 4, of course. That's a 4. And the banker had 8-8. That's a 6. And you would think the banker is immediately going to win with the 6-4. But what happens is the player gets a card, and the player drew a 6, which gave the player 0. Queen 4, 6 is a 0. So now you think the banker's going to win with 6-0. But when the player draws a 6 or a 7 on the 3rd card, so you draw 6 or 7 on the 3rd card, the banker, if he doesn't have 8 or 9, well, of course, he's not going to have 8 or 9 because you gave the card to the player. But if the banker has 0 through 7, the banker is going to have to take a card. So in this case, the banker had 8-8, which is 6, and drew a 7 for a total of 3. So the banker did win 3-0. But the banker would have won 6-0 if he didn't have to take the 3rd card. But he had to take the 3rd card because the player drew a 6 or 7. And that's the 3rd card draw rules. And so the banker did draw a card, and they did draw a 7, which gave him 8-8-7, which is not 23. It's 3. You dropped a 2. Baccarat, a great game where you cannot bust. I played a full shoe here getting ready to talk to you guys tonight, and it was really, really funny what happened because of I was going to play the same thing, martingale for 3 and D'Alembert for after that, plus 5, minus 4 units. And I'm going to do some there as long as you can see my iPad's getting dead here. But in the last shoe, it was heavily banker shoe. It was 43 bankers and 28 players there in that shoe. That's 71 hands. That's pretty normal. But there were 9 ties. So that's a little bit of an aberration of ties there. So the ties were actually heavily represented. If you had been Fibonacciing the tie, you made a pile of money. I'm not telling you to Fibonacci the tie because sometimes there's only 2 or 3 ties in the whole shoe. But when a shoe does have 8, 9, or 10 ties, man, you could make a pile of money getting that 8 or 9 to 1, depending on what it pays. So take a moment to say hello to everybody here that's in. I spoke to Michael Steinfeld and Chuck Ritter, HR Green Shark, Paul, welcome, and then we have coming in, we have Crystal Lewis, who I want to talk to briefly. Crystal, either tell me here, or if you got to think about it, tell me with an email. I want to meet you in Terre Haute this week. You pick a night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, and we will play the $5 iBlock Baccarat over there and just have some fun, and you and I will talk about the game, and I'd love to be able to meet you over there if you have a night available that you can have a couple of hours that you can slip out to Terre Haute. If you can, I'm going to look forward to meeting you over there, and if not this week, then we'll do it another week. But I haven't forgotten about it. It's been on my calendar, so we can arrange something. I love it. Okay, so you think about it, a time that you would like to do that, and we will. So anyway, we did make the money tonight, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show, hey, Guaping, Formula One's in Vegas. That's exciting stuff, man. I tell you what, Vegas is trying to get things cranked up, but they're going to need to do some things better. They already do things better out there in Henderson and Summerlin. Out there where you have the South Point Casino and you have the Durango and you have Red Rocks and you have Green Valley Ranch. They are all very, very good properties, and they offer lower stakes and they offer great food at lower prices, and the places are very clean and very safe. I highly recommend them over the glitz and glamour of the Strip, but if you want the glitz and glamour of the Strip, it's there. You're just going to have to pay to get it. So I'm continuing to show this so you can ask me any questions you want to have about what's on my scratch there. But we played 5 hands tonight with a $50 base bet beginning martingale for 3. We only got up to the second bet one time. We won 4 of the 5 hands, which was nice. But like I'm saying, when you're playing against the 2 players with your banker bet, you do have an edge, and so it's not unusual that you would win, and that's how we plan on doing it. So let's just see what it shows me here. I think I staged it okay. Look at that. That started with 2 ties, and then the banker wins. So the baseball bet on the banker would have won again. They won the very first hand. We got 2 players there. Let's just play for a couple of hands because I think my iPad's going to go bonkers dead anyway. We got 7,334,000 there, too, so we can do some homework check. Hey, thank you, Michael Steinfeld. That was it's always good to win, and we do win every time we play live. We win every time we play simulation. So let's see if we're going to win tonight or not. I'll play a short simulation here if I can. We are going to start with the first martingale. That's a $50 bet, the same way I played it tonight. And we're going to bet on the banker, $50. And there's the win right there. Now they take the commission from us there, so we lost $2 on that. So now I would do a no bet. I'm not going to do anything until we have 2 players again, because this is chop 2-3. Banker chops 2. Banker chops 2, 3, 4, 5. Says because I'm going to go 4 bets deep after a 2-player win. The landscape you must have set is a 2-player win, and right now the banker is streaking a little bit. I hope I covered as much as well as I wanted to. We have a lot of guys out there help me a lot, like Chuck does, and Michael Steinfeld does, and Gil does, and Bill Latta does, and Soup Campbell does, because he is such an in-depth mathematician. On the other side, I got King John, who does all the computer work, and he thinks in ones and zeros all the time. And I think he was playing up in Des Plaines, the Rivers Casino in Des Plaines, Illinois. I think that's where he was playing this afternoon, but I didn't hear back from him. Either he won so much money that he decided to go back to Monaco, or Or who knows, maybe he's in jail in Chicago right now. You never can tell what's going on with that guy. Oh, they sneaked in and tied on us. I thought we was going to have a bet there. Nope. I need 2 players to set the landscape for a banker bet to begin my martingales. And if we lose 3 martingales, we switch over to D'Alembert at plus 5 units, down 4. These are $50 units. That's what we're playing here. No, I think that's 1 player, right? Yep, that's 1 player. We need to have another player so we can take a chance at this. Can't get it. That pesky banker is being hard on us. But that drawing the 3rd card, it doesn't really help you to know those rules, but occasionally the dealer will make a mistake, and it's always better if you know every rule. And so the 3rd card draw is an important thing for you to know, and that's why I wanted to articulate. Even I paused tonight and I looked at that pair of 8s over there, and then saw the player had taken a 6, and I said, "Uh-oh, let's see if he actually draws a card, because if he didn't draw it, then I'm going to win 6-0 because we got the money on the bank." But then when he said banker has to draw, I went, uh-oh, please don't catch a 4 and give us a 0 push. But sure enough, it caught the 7 to give us the 3-0 win. Another tie here. Yeah, that 3rd card draw, it ordinarily favors the banker, but in that case it didn't. It was a risk. Can't get 2 players in a row. And it'll go like this, not getting 2 players in a row, and then it'll get 10 in a row. It's a game of aberrations, and you've got to be able to roll with it. And don't ever go, God, how can that happen? Well, whatever just happened, it can, because this is cards, and they come out in any way. We have 2 player bet wins there, so I'm going to bet $50 on the banker. That's the entry level martingale. There's a $50 bet, and there's the win. And this is how it went tonight too. So I want you guys to practice this, and don't be afraid. If you lose the first bet, you're going to go 1 more time. If you lose it, you're going 1 more time. If you lose it, you're going 1 more time. You're going to bet 4 straight bets, and with each bet, the odds of the banker winning increase. And since you're martingaling and then doing a big entry level D'Alembert, all you got to do is win 1 out of the 4. That's why this is the edge that gives you everything you need to win in the casino. You got to have enough bankroll to support the bet, though. You got to have enough discipline and patience to hang in there with it. You got to be aware of all the distractions that will go on around you, because one of the other things is, and it's proven out here at this casino, they used to have the high limit room here was a large room that had blackjack and roulette, and a smaller room that had baccarat. And Chuck Ritter will remember it. When he walked in there, you went to the back room to the right to get to the baccarat. Baccarat is exploding all over the United States. Everybody is realizing that it's a 50-50 game. It's a roulette game with, instead of having 18 reds and 18 blacks, it's got 1 red and 1 blue and no greens. That's what this is. This is a roulette game that has only 1 number on one side, 1 number on the other, and no greens. You imagine if you had a roulette wheel like that, we'd all be running to the roulette wheel to play. But since they don't have that, your game to play is baccarat. What does my friend Chuck Ritter tell me? The 27-47 is a rule, and the 38 special is the simplest way to remember it. So Chuck is articulating here how you arrive at receiving that 3rd card. So those are the numbers right there, and that's the 38 special is the one that the player draws the 6. So all of that information is available, and nobody knows it better than Chuck Ritter. So that's that rule right there. So I'll shut it down now and just tell you that we easily won to 200 tonight. We're going to keep playing and playing live and playing simulation, because I want everybody here to know how to win at this game. Now, when I meet Crystal Lewis over there in Terre Haute, you got to forgive it because we're playing eye block then. And man, oh man, you got to be careful with that eye block. Those are RNGs. They are not actual cards being dealt. And the eye block roulette that they have is an RNG also, random number generator. You don't know what's going to come up, but the machine already knows because it's actually a slot machine. It already knows. And so if it already knows, I'm always skeptical of is it already arranging because of that. But the live Baccarat room, and I'm sure the iBlock Baccarat wins and loses at the same amount probably because the live roulette wheel, everybody loses. The iBlock roulette wheel, everybody loses. Blackjack, even the shrewdest players win about 1 out of 3 sessions, and the casual player pretty much loses every time. And so I did stop and took some notes looking at the blackjack tables on the way out, and I was not disappointed with the statistics that I got briefly there. I was sorry that the guys were losing money, but the fact of the matter is, you got to make your hand first. The dealer gets to stand there and just watch you, and that gives the dealer a huge advantage. So when they are talking about blackjack, it's a pretty even game. Well, they're talking about your number against their number. They aren't talking about you busting before you get started. They're talking about your made hand against the dealer's made hand. It has a very narrow edge, that's true. But you don't play on made hands in blackjack. You bust a lot of times way before the dealer even looks at their cards. And so it's a tough game to win. But Baccarat is exploding because it is truly a 50-50 game. And a lot of people don't know what you guys know, and that is the baccarat is an actuarial game. What I mean by actuarial, I mean it's predictable. You can predict it down to the absolute. What happens this coming hand? No, but you can predict it in trends. I can tell you right now, if you go 30 hands without a tie in baccarat, you're going to get a couple of ties coming up right very soon. If you get 13 players in a row, you're going to get some bankers coming up very, very soon. Sometimes, if you get a real tilted table of player wins, you can just flat bet the banker for a few times because all we usually want to get up is 1 or 2 units. The only reason I played it for 4 units tonight was because I was playing a more safer game with the $50 starting martingale. If we started with the $200 bet to win 200, we lose the first bet, then the next bet's 400, we win the 400, and we leave because we're up 200. So if you've got the bankroll to do it, you're going to win with what we're doing here all the time. And so that's what I want to convey tonight. Okay, yeah, Michael Steinfeld's confirming. Michael has seen this iBlock Baccarat. And so that's why I said this kingdom, we don't have 50,000 people out there. We don't even want 50,000. We've got anywhere from 20 to 40 to come in here, but all of you are avid players and all of you are smart and you know how to do it. And I get great advice from everybody in the kingdom. Like my chairman of the board, William Latta, just showed up. Welcome, sir. We won 200 tonight at Shelbyville, Bill. We played $50 martingale for 3, and we're prepared to go up with Dell and Bear after that. But we were going to bet 4 bets. We waited for 2 players, and then we would go 4 deep. The player was going to have to hit 6 in a row to beat us. That's why I feel good about it. The player is not going to hit 6 in a row over and over and over and over again. Can it do it twice in a row? Oh, yeah. Can it do it 3 times in a row? Very possibly. But it's not going to do it over and over and over again. And sometimes you'll go the whole shoe and it won't even have 6 one time. So when that happens, you know who wins? The kingdom. Every doggone time, just like we did tonight. To all of you, I'll be back with you on Tuesday night, and we'll talk some more about this. And we tried to cover a lot of ground tonight. Thank you to all of you guys for joining. And thank you, Michael. Me and Crystal Lewis are going to get together again. I met Crystal on the flight back from Vegas when I came back from the South Point. Charming woman from Plainfield, Indiana. And I'm looking forward to seeing her again and renewing our friendship and talking more about Baccarat as we mess around with that iBlock wheel. And so we'll have some fun over there. Crystal, you don't need to bring any money because I'll finance your play. I'm gonna pump a couple of $100 in there for you just to play and have some fun. I am not going to invite you over there and have you reach in your pocket. No chance in this world. That's- you know, I'm a Charleston, South Carolina boy. I do not allow, this isn't a date. I mean, I'm in a long-term relationship myself too, but I don't ever allow a woman to be paying for anything when they're around me, and you're not going to pay to play this game. So I will be taking care of you, Crystal, over there, and I'm hopeful that you can win a little bit of money. Now, I would love to video it over there, but those guys, man, they are real cranky about me pulling out my phone over there. So we'll let you guys know how it goes, and Crystal and I will have some fun. And win or lose, it'll be an eye block night for us, and then we'll get back to the serious play at hand. But this will also give her a good chance to get the feel for baccarat. So thanks to all of you, and Crystal, have a great night. All you guys, appreciate you very much, and we will be back. We took the money again tonight, just like we always do, but we're going to leverage ourselves in a position to where we can go heavier bets, because I do want to start. I'm hopeful that we can start making more money. Now, I do know. Let me do in closing. If I go back out to South Point, I do know I can play 6, 7, 8 sessions a day. And so you can make more money out there. When I got to drive 3 doggone hours to get to and from a casino, and I'm going to be disciplined and play for like $200 like tonight. Once I get to 200, I have to leave, even at the 5 hands. And so I'm going to drive all the way back to Bloomington now. But this is just the nature of the game right now, and we will find ways for us to do this better. I thank all of you. You guys have a great night. Hit a like if you feel like it, and if you don't, that'll be okay too. So good evening to all of you. This is Professional Baccarat, full-time play, side hustle play, Joey Knish style, humble, disciplined selection of playing the banker against 2 players, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Got to have 6 players to beat us anytime that we win between the 2 players and the 6th player. We get our money. And we're going to get it over and over and over again, because we have used the actuarial method of the bet is what matters. The bet's all that matters. We're going to be on the banker side every time. Good night, guys. I'll see you Tuesday night.